Is it safe to come out yet? Is the game week over, Sam?
No.
Has it finished?
No, there's one
more. Oh no, actually it hasn't finished. Please say game week 16 has finished. What a game week. What a game week. Guys, good evening. Welcome to this next episode of FPL Family. It is episode number 30. It was game week 16. And it's fair to say there are contrasting emotions in the FPL Family household. Wow, where to start with your game week? We're going to do all of that, all the reviews of the teams. We're going to talk about the transfers that we're thinking of making, but also more importantly, the transfers that we made for game week 16. Because, oh man, guys, if you've ever wondered where the whole jammy pick thing comes from, and when we started this like a year and a half ago, we had this concept of a jammy pick, right? And you guys that join us every week will know and love it. On a Thursday, we talk about who's the differential, and that whole jammy pick thing comes from Sam picking the most random players to bring in and them just performing. Like a couple of years ago, I remember you brought in Tadic before he got like 4 goals and an assist or something. This week, because I've had so much I've had enough of it this weekend. Tell the guys who you transferred in for this game week.
Torreira.
It's Lucas, isn't it? I don't even know his first name. That's how little he means to me, this guy. Lucas, I think, Torreira. In for who? Kenny out for Torreira.
Yeah.
And I remember, guys, so I'm sitting there, the Arsenal game's on, we're watching Gillette Soccer Saturday at 3 o'clock. I'm sitting there with a Aubameyang captain. He's missing chance after chance. I'm looking at his live XG status and he's like real underachieving in the XG. He should be getting FPL points. And then Torreira pops up with a bicycle kick. That, guys...
What a quality goal it was, though.
I don't care about I don't care. And this is off the... Oh, guys, I'm on one already. Listen to me, I'm on one already. How long's that taken?
2 minutes.
2 minutes, and I'm on one already about this game week, guys. Oh, my God. Game week 16 has brought a big, fat, red arrow to my FPL team. It's not a Merry Christmas as far as I'm concerned from an FPL perspective, but for you, you are marching on into the top...
14k.
14k! Oh, guys, I might as well delete my team and give it up.
But
it's done.
It won't stay there, will it? Because I don't have anyone to play tomorrow. So I'm going to...
Oh, boo-hoo. So you'll have to stick with, 70 points that you've got or something? How many points are you on? 77. It's like double what I've got.
But I won't stay as high. Like it's a 25k rank rise, that is.
Oh,
and at that end of the leagues, you don't normally get that. But it won't stay that way, will it? Because like everyone's got Richarlison and...
Well, some people have got Richarlison, yeah. But listen, I'm going to have a fantastic game week. I'm going to have all I need is 7 from Richarlison tomorrow. 8 if he's in a good mood. If he gets 8 goals tomorrow, Richarlison,
8
it'd
goals.
be a good week.
I was thinking you were talking about 8 points.
No,
might be perfect.
No.
You might be able to get that.
7 or 8 points is not good enough. He needs 8 goals. I need
8 goals.
Yeah. It needs to be big. It needs to be big. The only thing that's putting a slight smile on my face is Superman himself, cape-wearing Matty Doherty, last minute against Newcastle. Poor old Rafa. But did you see the goal? Were we watching it? So Doherty, so I don't know who gets the ball on the other side of the pitch. Doherty ambles forward to the halfway line and then gets a bit of a sprint on. And the defender, who were the Newcastle player, I don't even know who he is, just lets him go. Completely lets him go. Rafa will be fuming at that. It's unreal.
Not 6 minutes before, the guy just left Jimenez as well. So...
Oh, that side for Newcastle today. I don't know who's even on that side. Matty Ritchie maybe, but dearie me, absolutely awful from a Newcastle perspective.
What I do know, Lee, is that you can't have everything in life.
Where's this going?
You are top of the league. So,
yes, of course. Yeah. FPL, very, very bad. Real life, football first. And that's what we always say, football first. We are top of the league. And that is a very nice feeling.
So you can't have everything.
Very nice feeling as a Liverpool fan to be top of that league. So we will, guys, as ever, we will talk about the games that have just happened over the weekend. We'll talk about our teams and how we've got on. I want to hear from you guys in the live chat in a second when we come and say hi. Let us know how you've got on this game week. Who was your star man? Who was the letdown, apart from the likes of Aubameyang? Although, Kane let us down a bit as well, right? So there's a lot of letdowns.
No, I won't have that. Poch let us down.
Pochettino let us down.
He let us down.
I didn't personally see him being benched, but
it's not
you can
Kane's
see why
fault.
he's done it, right?
It's not Kane's fault, is it?
It's never is it, Sam?
Well, it can't be, can it? It's not his fault. He's not gone up to him and gone, Gaffer, I need a rest, does he?
Oh, and I'll tell you what,
No
that game was really... I was watching it in the pub with a few mates. It was really 50-50 until Sonny decided that he was going to ping an absolute belter into the top corner. What a ping.
It was that much of a worldie that Lee decided to text me about it. He never texted me about Spurs goal. But
text you the 3 fire emojis, didn't it? It was just an absolutely amazing goal. So, guys, let's say hello to a few of you. First things first, by the way, are you well now? Are you a bit better? Bit better.
I'm a bit better.
Yeah, a bit better. Okay.
Yeah, the antibiotics are helping.
Good. Okay, good.
Yeah, so I'm at least a bit coherent now.
All right, so we're gonna plod on through. We're gonna plough on through. See how we go. If you start getting a bit nauseous about your game week rank, then we'll maybe stop. But
can we just be clear that I'm not ill because I've had a rank rise?
You're in the dizzy heights, aren't you? That's why you're getting dizzy.
For goodness sake.
It's getting dizzy up in 14k. The air's pretty thin up there, isn't it?
Well, how is it down 100k?
Oh, I can breathe fine. It's really no problem. Really. Down in 117k, it's really not a problem.
Oh,
guys, let's say hello to a few people. I tell you what, as we said many times last year, at least one of us is doing well. Do you know what I mean? If the guys were tuning in and we were both doing rubbish, that would be a problem. But at least one of us is doing well. We've got some polls as well, guys, which we'll come to in a second. Thank you to everybody that's...
Not that we can read them.
I think I can. I don't know where the little eye has gone, actually. You make a fair point. I tried to look on my phone. I went to this video, but on my phone, I couldn't find the little white eye in the top right-hand corner of the video. So, guys, if you're watching this on iOS, on an Apple phone, tell me how I see the polls on the video, because I genuinely can't see my own polls. It's ridiculous. Maybe that is because I'm logged in as FPL Family, and you can't answer your own polls. I don't know. Who knows? Anyway, whenever it comes to the point where we need to look at what the polls have been doing, I'll find a way to somehow bodge that.
Maybe do it
as ever with the polls.
We could maybe do it through the kids one.
I don't know. Listen, we'll work it out when we get there. So, guys, let's say hello to a few people before we get to the polls, and then we'll crack on with the games. So let's see who is in tonight. So we have got Ad Whitfield. How are you doing? 62 plus Dina and Richarlison to go. So that's very good. That's very good indeed. Leo is in and moderating for us. Leo, how are you? Thank you for joining. Andrew McD. He can't look at the polls either. Yeah, what's going on with that? What is up with that? I'll try and fix that, guys, for next time, but I don't really understand what that's all about. I can do it on my laptop, so I seem cool with doing that, but can't do it on my phone for some reason. Eric Lord, 47 with Richarlison to go. No Salah, I think. That is going to be the tail of the tape, isn't it? You've either got him or you haven't, and if you've captained him, you're up into the stratosphere. If you've just got him, you're doing very, very well, and if you haven't got him, it's a nightmare. Yeah, absolutely. Correct. FPL Tips is here. How are you doing, Tips? 30. Oh wow, Tips.
Definitely no Salah.
Tips. Goodness me. Yeah, you're down in the dumps with me, mate. We'll sort of join our own little sulking group over here, just to sort of sulk in the 30s and 40s.
Lee has done a bit of sulking this weekend.
I've done a lot of sulking. It was the Liverpool game was actually a weird dynamic, wasn't it? Because Salah scores and I'm like, yes, right, off the mark, brilliant. Scores a second and I'm like, good, that's really good that he's got that, and we've got the game is done, excellent. And then Robbo gets the assist, so happy with that because I'm a Robbo owner, so I'm good with that. And then the third goal was a bit like, oh, that's really good. He scored that third goal because you were sitting there just going, yes, Salah, you cheered it more than I did.
Well, I didn't. I just sat there going, excellent, because I was feeling really, really rough at that point. But it was helping to cheer me up.
Absolutely. FPL Nick is saying wooden spoon for Tips. Could be. Mafio Soul is here. How are you doing? Clacko is here. Tom Gravgard, how are you doing? FPL 2 Guys 1 Cup podcast. Love that podcast. Guys, if you haven't checked that out already, go check out FPL 2 Guys 1 Cup podcast on Twitter. Really, really good stuff. Joe Finley Badder is here. How are you doing? He did Sterling to Salah. Nice move. Very, very nice move. That's what you did, Joe. Good work. Robert Unaget is here. Good evening. How are you? Anish is here. Karam is here. How are you doing, Karam? Karam had a good game week, I think. Karam had a very good game week. I was speaking to him on Twitter a bit over the weekend. I think he did all right. Steve Wynyard, how are you doing? JC, Ian Barrett, Bryce, oh, goodness me. Bryce Lior. Sorry, Bryce, if I said that wrong. Bryce is here. John Chappelle, Toxic Fusion, FPL Skinny Panda, a blast from the past. I haven't seen Skinny Panda for a while.
I love Skinny
One of your
Panda.
favourite handles, Skinny Panda.
Handle,
love that. Welcome, FPL Skinny Panda. Josh Channing is here, Andrew Yee, Charlie Roberts, and a whole host of you. So, guys, thank you very much for joining. Before we start, on the left-hand side is our Twitter page. And I promised a very good friend of mine, Tom, from Who Got the Assist, that we would do a little plug for the FPL Community Christmas Meetup that's coming next Friday, guys. So if you're in the London area, Tom and I and Sam and a few of the others, Peter at MathSafeFPL, all going to be at the Marylebone Sports Bar and Grill from 7 p.m. It's the FPL London Meetup, the Christmas party, so as organised by Tom. I think Nick is going as well. So if you're in the area, if you want to come and join us, would love to meet you. It'd be really, really good to have a beer with you and celebrate Christmas. So
I'll still be on my antibiotics. I'll have to have a Coke.
You'll probably still be recovering, in recovery mode, yeah. So, yeah, probably water or Coke or something.
I'll have a Coke.
Yeah, designated driver for the evening. Very, very good. So, there we go. So, if you want to go and come along and join us at that, reply to, I think Tom has just tweeted this, right? So, go into this tweet, just do a little comment and say to Tom, I'm in, and he will stick you on the guest list. Cool. Excellent. Right, guys, let's crack on. Is there going to be a red
carpet if it's a guest list and everything?
No, it's nothing like that. Nothing, what, for Tom and Nick, you mean? Red carpets for Tom and Nick. Proper celebs now, they are. Proper celebs, those boys.
Yeah, roll it out for them.
Absolutely.
Maybe we could get some paps to come and take some photos of them on their way in.
Absolutely superb. So here we go, guys. Let's have a look at the Twitter, at FPL Family on Instagram as well, if you want to go and talk to Sam over on Instagram. Let's have a look at the... where are we? Let's have a look at... My team will come to a bit later on. Wait for it to load. We'll come to that a bit later on. Let's have a look at the fixtures. Not fixtures. We don't even need to go to 17 yet. Let's go here. And we're going to zoom in a bit as well so you can see that a bit better. Right, I think we ought to start with Chelsea 2, Manchester City 0. The big game of the weekend. I must admit, didn't see it coming. Did not see that coming. City have been very, very good away from home. Chelsea have looked a little bit hit and miss, to say the least, in terms of form with the Wolves game and the Spurs game. But
the stats
very
did
good
say
performance.
that Chelsea were going to win that game.
Did they really?
Yeah, okay. Because Chelsea have beaten the reigning champions at Stamford Bridge every season since 2002.
Oh, so the historical stats.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, and that obviously now continues. So
it's incredible. It was an incredible result. I mean, for the first half,
very good game.
I thought City were very, very good in the first half, and actually Sané missed a couple of good chances. Sterling got into some decent positions, could have had some FPL points, but to be fair to Chelsea, that's the first time I've seen them without Morata or Giroud, because they changed the setup completely, right? I thought that Hazard in that false nine, which he doesn't like playing, right, and you could see that in the interview after the game. I think one of the interviewers said, "How did you feel playing in that false nine?" And he kind of, yeah, you know, I did it for the team. He didn't sort of burst with enthusiasm for playing in that role, but he played it well, and when they didn't have the ball, he slotted back into midfield and really overran that midfield, and it was fantastic tactics from Chelsea. And I'm beginning to wonder whether Sarri is a bit of a master tactic. Well, not beginning to wonder. I think it's clear that he's a very, very good tactician. So Chelsea, for their part, did very, very well indeed. David Luiz, who is 5.6 million in the game, starting to look like potentially a bit of an alternative to Alonso. How do you feel about that? A full 1.4, maybe 1.5 cheaper than Alonso now?
I don't know. I mean, if you take defensive defenders in terms of their attacking returns, Alonso is the best in the game at the moment, closely followed by Matt Doherty, who we'll talk about later, I'm sure. But yeah, Alonso is still top of those lists, and I think for me, with the Chelsea fixtures the way that they are, it would feel, unless I needed a lot of money for something else, it would feel a very sideways move to spend a transfer doing Alonso to Luiz.
Yeah. What I will say about that game in particular, just sticking with the Chelsea defence for a moment, and some of you guys, I think Skinny Panda saying it, Azpilicueta on that side did an absolute job on Sané. I mean, Sané did get a couple of chances, appreciate that, but on the whole, Azpilicueta was fantastic in that game, fantastic. I don't necessarily think we've seen enough attacking output to maybe warrant the 6.3 that he is in the game. But listen, Azpilicueta had a fantastic game. Our City assets, should we be worried about them? You've got Sané now. I've got Sané and Sterling. So from an FPL perspective, I was clearly looking for a big City win and expected a decent win for City. Don't get me wrong, not at all upset that they didn't, given that it means that Liverpool are now top of the league. But I was expecting a City win, doubled up on those midfield assets. I don't think I'm too worried about them.
No.
You still feel too worried about getting Sané? I mean, hooked on 52 minutes?
No.
No?
I'm not overly worried. I think, you know, the City fixtures coming up are good. You know, they're City at the end of the day. They can score against anybody. We've seen that in previous games. All right, this game week it didn't exactly go their way, but I think that was more to do with the way that Chelsea played than it was to do with City themselves. And Pep set out in a different system without playing Jesus or Aguero. So yeah, for me, I'm not overly concerned. I think
Everton at home next, I think, for City. So does Sané come back into your thinking as a captaincy choice, or I think Kane's got a decent fixture as well,
Burnley,
right? Okay.
Yeah. So, but otherwise, let's be honest. The City attacking options are always a captain's. They're always
consideration.
They've
absolutely.
got to be. You've got to keep them in your considerations, regardless of who they're playing. Quite honestly.
Okay. And Josh Oram is saying, should I stick with David Silva, because I think he pulled up with a bit of a hammy, didn't he? So I don't know how bad that is.
I haven't seen any word on how bad that is, but I think I'd be keeping a very close eye on that, particularly over the week. Given that it's also Champions League week this week, I won't be doing anything just yet. Just hold fire. Let's see who gets through the Champions League games and who doesn't, because there's always a chance of an injury or two there.
Okay. And Hazard, for his part in that game, we talked about how he didn't particularly like to play in that false nine, but had a very, very good game. And Rushil Joshi, thank you for joining, Rushil. He's saying Hazard in from game week 17. So given that we've all been talking about getting him out and who we're going to get from the City midfield, are we now starting, would you believe, to talk about Hazard back in, because the Chelsea fixtures, Rushil is saying, look good the next game, up to game week 22, right?
They do look really good, and I was just having a chat with Tom, I think, on Instagram. I can't remember now. Sorry, and I was saying that, like, for me, my dilemma at the moment is the Chelsea fixtures are nice. I had always intended to lose Salah after that Bournemouth game,
right? Yeah,
and replace him with Hazard. Well, I can't lose. I cannot lose Salah off the back of a hat trick. Can you?
Well, I was going to ask you about that. Let's segue into the Liverpool game then, because that is a nice segue. Absolutely. I remember. I know you weren't here on the last live stream, but I kind of, just as I was coming on, I remember saying to you, how do you feel about Salah? Because we're going to get a lot of talk when I did my solo stream about, Salah, yes or no, and a lot of you guys in the live chat were saying, this is his last chance. This is his last chance to perform, and you were saying, last chance saloon. Otherwise, the lure of the Hazards, the lure of the Sterlings is going to be too strong. Well, Salah went into the last chance saloon, drunk a couple of whiskies, and just bowled out with a hat trick. So how can you sell Mo Salah now? Is he going to be the Mo Salah that we saw of last season? What are your thoughts on the game?
Well, he's still level with where we would have expected him to have been last season, and this is what I keep coming back to, and I keep kind of looking at the other options that are available, the likes of Sterling and Hazard and all of those other FPL players who are performing at the moment, and thinking, maybe I'm better off with one of them. But then you look at Salah's historical stats and where he is now, and actually we are there or thereabouts. We're where we were.
Yes, I think you're right.
So, we're going into the Christmas period where it accelerated for Salah last season and over into the new year. So, off the back of that, I know that they've got Man United next, but it is at Anfield. It's not at Old Trafford. I think that makes a difference, because obviously Liverpool, in terms of conceding goals, you just don't really concede goals.
Very tight at Anfield, yes, absolutely, yeah.
And you do score there, and somebody said to me, or somebody commented on one of my Instagram posts the other day about Firmino in that game as well, because I said previously, it's around this time of year we start to see the Firmino come back, and you said it quite rightly when you were talking about the midweek game, the fact that those two got a rest, very annoying, very, very annoying midweek, but you could tell they'd had a rest.
Firmino in particular looked sharper in that Bournemouth game, for sure. I mean, yeah, you're right. For him not to play in the Burnley game was obviously disappointing for his owners, although I don't think he's that highly owned in FPL in reality. And Salah getting the rest, yes, that clearly had an impact as well by the looks of it. But it was Firmino, for me, that he was back to the Firmino of old. He was sharp. He was closing down defenders. I mean, Steve Cook might as well retire. I mean, he and Salah gave Steve Cook nightmares. He will be having nightmares about that game for weeks and weeks. Even in the second Salah goal, you can see he basically fouls Salah, right? He gives him one down the back of the Achilles, and Salah kind of winces in pain, stays on his feet to his credit, beats another man and slots it past Begovic.
It was the Salah of old.
It was the Salah of old, and I think you've hit the nail on the head, and that's what's worrying to me as a non-Salah owner, is that actually it was, you're right, this time of year when Liverpool started to get into that rhythm of beating teams fairly regularly and fairly heavily last season. And I wonder whether we've seen the first half of this season Klopp playing a little bit more conservatively, saving a bit of energy so that we can go on a bit of a rampage again come January. We've got players back coming like Keita, who's not played a lot so far this season. He's looking as if he's hitting a bit of form. Now, come on, I know we've played Burnley and Bournemouth, and all right, he's looked good against those two, but if he can start looking good, Fabinho is starting to settle into that CM role now a little bit as well in the games that he's played. If Salah hits a bit of form, if Firmino can kind of stay fit and not too bad, then listen, it could be the Liverpool of old, and as a person that's got no Liverpool attack right now, that worries me. Worries me a lot. Let's pause for a second. We've had a live chat from hashtag FPL Boona. So thank you, FPL Boona, for sponsoring the chat. As ever, guys, the super chat is live. Not a prereq for being here, but thank you for saying that. He says North London didn't stay red for long. North London didn't stay red for long, so he's obviously very, very happy. A very happy Spurs fan,
talk about Spurs in a
which
minute.
we'll come to in just a second. Just to finish up on that Liverpool game, Andy Robertson played 11 points. Trent Alexander-Arnold didn't play at all.
I was really surprised.
I was a bit, to be fair. Yeah, I was a
Really
bit.
surprised.
I did think that with the Gomez injury, Trent might actually be a little bit more
Nailed
on. But here we are sitting again talking about how, despite Robertson being a little bit more expensive, feels like he's worth it. Feels like he's a bit lucky with the assist, right? Because again, Steve Cook, we're having nightmares about that. He'll never finish a goal better than that. But again, 11 points. Robbo ticks it over every single week. Great value, I think.
Well, I do. I mean, for me, a lot of people ask me the question about, shall I go Trent? Shall I go Robbo? Shall I go both? And the going both thing, I get the Liverpool going two at the back. I don't really like it just because if one concedes, you lose them both points. But I do with Liverpool, it's less of a risk because you concede so few goals. But for me, if I had to choose between the two, unless there is a really compelling reason, as in you can't get Salah or you can't get Sterling unless you do it, then I do understand the Trent decision. But I think if you have Trent, you have to be prepared that there will be games like this one where he sits it out.
Okay, and I think as Julian Bennett is saying, thank you for joining, Julian, Trent rested as Napoli and then Man United. So you are right, Julian. Big week for Liverpool coming up. Huge week. In a game where really against Napoli, I know we can win 1-0 and go through, but if Napoli score, we've got to beat them by 2. So it could be in a position where we've got to score goals in that game, and people like Trent are going to need to be on their game. There's no doubt about it. Quick word on Shaqiri, because we need to move on to the Spurs game. Quick word about Shaqiri. I thought he looked very, very good in that game. Again, picked up the ball in nice areas. Really, really good at the little dink ball over. I'd seen that a little bit from Shaqiri before, but there was obviously something that Klopp had targeted as a weakness in that Bournemouth defence when Shaqiri picked it up in the final third, and the little dink ball through to Salah and Firmino, who clearly had been rested and were moving in a much more dynamic way. Shaqiri looked really, really good. Really, really good. But I think he looked good because Firmino and Salah were rested and were moving more dynamically.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So yes, I agree with you guys. Some of you are saying that Shaqiri is a good pick. I don't disagree with that at all. But as Josh is saying, Shaqiri seems to be starting regularly now. Yes, Mafio, Sol, Shaq. The jury's out. So yeah, I can see why you guys would be mixed. I really
like Shaqiri. I said that last time we were on the FPL show. I think he does make Liverpool tick a lot nicer. The way the balls come in, it's better. But having said all of that, when you've got Firmino playing the way that he was on Saturday, it's likely that it's going to be Firmino that scores the points.
Yeah. And for Bournemouth's part in that game, let's not spend too long, because I think if you've got the Frasers and the Wilsons and stuff, I think you stick, despite Wilson being rested.
No, he's got a hamstring.
Oh, did he have a bit of an injury? Okay, so we've got to keep an eye on that then, potentially. But the one stat that I did pick up about Bournemouth is they have conceded 2.3 goals, an average of 2.3 goals per game since game week 11. So in the last few game weeks, they've been leaky as hell at the back. So,
have they really?
Well, and I don't know what I put that down to. I think, Charlie Daniels has come in, who I do like going forward, Charlie Daniels, but I don't like him as a defender, really. I know that you like him. I know you're a big fan of Charlie Daniels, but I don't.
Love Charlie Daniels.
No, I'm not a big fan of his defensively.
I can't believe you've said that about Charlie.
And Steve Cook, again, looked out of his depth, didn't he, against
Salah.
It's all Steve Cook's fault.
Tim Ream.
I still love Steve Cook from game week 2. Do you remember Steve Cook's 14-pointer from game week 2? Still got a lot of love for Steve Cook.
Shame you didn't really have him this week. He'd have added to your
God, what would
FPL
he have got?
woes.
-2, -3? Must have had an absolute mare this week.
They conceded 4 and he got an own goal. So
well, there we go.
Probably.
So Steve Cook had a mare. Not investing in Bournemouth defence, wouldn't touch him with a barge pole, but going forward, we know that they're good. So stick with your Bournemouth assets going forward. Let's segue then into that Spurs game. So as the super chat message said, North London does indeed appear to be back to being white, although Arsenal are also on a very, very good run, which will come to them next.
But we are above them in the league.
But you are above them in the league.
Just.
What could have been a potential bit of a banana skin away at Leicester. Talk me through that game, given that Heung-min Son was 5th overall for BPS this game week, joint with MacArthur from Crystal Palace on 40, just one ahead of Louise and a couple behind Rashford and Mata. So Heung-min Son is putting a case out there for being the Spurs midfielder of choice in this little, not monopoly, what's the word? This little group of Spurs midfielders, and we're not sure who to pick.
Just remember that Sonny's leaving again in January. So
yes,
going back to the Asia Cup, the other one, what have we had? We've had the games, we're going to the Cup. So just be aware of that, because that will be in Poch's mind as well, that, if he's playing Son, it's enabling him to give the others a rest. But at the same time, we can't become reliant on Son playing every week, because he's going to leave again for a month in January. It's a busy time for us with the FA Cup and stuff like that kicking off. And hopefully we'll be moving home in January. So
yes.
Just something to consider when you're picking from an FPL point of view. Spurs, I thought, there is no doubt that Son looked great in that game, but I thought for me it was Dele Alli who just ran the game.
Ali had a very good game. I thought very good game. Yeah, he picked it up in nice little pockets. Was always looking to be direct and always looking to play through balls through that back line of Leicester. I think given that Maguire was out, I thought they saw an opportunity to get the ball to feet with Ali and play around those players rather than anything else. So I thought that was particularly good from Spurs. Ali as an FPL asset, what do you think? Still a bit on the expensive side, or do you think you would go for him? 9.2, 9.3?
I would really like to own Ali. No, I think he's cheaper than that.
Cheaper than that? Okay.
Because I think that's about Ericsson, isn't it? 9.3.
I think Ericsson's a bit more, isn't he? Ericsson's sort of 9.5, something like that.
I don't know, I'd have to look it up. I think for me, I really like the Ali pick. I think if I was going to pick from Spurs midfield, Ali would be the one that I would go for at the moment. He just looks like he really wants it at the moment.
You're spot on. Sorry, 8.9 the guys are saying. Ali's 8.9.
I think Ericsson's about 9.2.
Yeah, Ericsson 9.3.
There you go.
There you go, spot on. Who am I to question your Spurs FPL knowledge? Who am I?
He'd be the one that I would really fancy at the moment. I just think that there's a real fire in him at the moment. That injury and all of that stuff that's kept him out over the beginning of the season, it seems to have ignited a bit of a fuse in him, and he's really up for the games. And
not going to get rotated either, is he? I mean, if he's fit, he plays, right, Dele Alli?
Sure.
Yeah.
I think he's still protecting, from what I can understand from what Poch is saying, he's still protecting Christian Eriksen a little bit. So I don't think he's fully back up to standard, hence why he's played midweek, and then obviously they want him for Barcelona, so he's not played against Leicester on Saturday. So he'll play midweek, but then we've not got to play again then until 3:00 Saturday, so that's almost a week. So you should be safe with Eriksen if you've got Eriksen for Saturday as well. I would have thought.
Okay, so Steve Stanfield is saying Son is the one, so he fancies Heung-min Son. Matthew Sol is saying, Sam, give us an update on Trippier. Any news on Trippier?
I'm still waiting for some news on Trippier. That's the news I'm waiting on, because my transfer this week has got to be to sort out Duffy, and I would really like Trippier, but at the moment I haven't seen any photographs of him doing any training at all. And there's been no word out of Spurs that I've heard. All
right, okay. So when is Son rising in price? Rushil Joshi says, don't know the answer to that, Rushil. But if you get onto at Fantasy Football Fix or the FPL Statistics website, if you Google either of those or look in Twitter for either of those, they'll be able to tell you what the latest is. I would imagine that he's pretty popular. Pretty popular. Dom J is saying Kane was a shocker. Now, tell me your thoughts on Kane, because I know that you captained him. The 1 point cameo is obviously disappointing, but I think it's one of those where you just put that down to bad luck. It's one of those, it just happened, you suck it up and know that he's going to be playing going forward, right?
The thing is, even now, I look back at that decision. So, first, to be clear, with my fantasy team this week, I was so poorly last week, I didn't even look at them. I just played them, and I was just like, make a transfer, that'll do. And I just captain Kane. And on the basis that it's Leicester, it's the team he likes to score against the most. So it's something like 13 goals in 11 games, or the other way around, 13 goals in 11 appearances versus Leicester.
Okay.
So the statistics and everything was there to back up captaining Kane. It's bad luck. At no point did I consider that Poch might think he needed a rest before the Barcelona game. Now, maybe I should have considered that, but I didn't.
And I'll tell you what, that fixture next week, now we've obviously got to see what happens in Barcelona, and we hope that there's obviously no Spurs injuries there. And obviously, we hope that you win and go through. That would be amazing.
I wondered what you were going to say then.
No, of course. I think it would be one of the greatest comebacks ever, given that you were a bit dead and buried in that group, to be fair. But the game that really worries me as a Kane non-captainer, well, most of them do, but Burnley at home. Burnley at home for Kane next. If you've got him, you have to captain him in that game. And it worries the life out of me that I haven't got him for that game. Now, I've got Aubameyang, as you know, and I bought him in primarily for that Huddersfield at home game. This was the game week I wanted him to captain him. So I've got to think about whether I move him on for Kane, because I'm worried about not having Kane for Burnley.
But Aubameyang's got a nice fixture, though.
But Aubameyang does have a nice fixture, and that is a nice segue into, I mean, we've spoken about how, and FPL Boone are very happy to report that Spurs and London is white, but the Arsenal contingent on the live, the Arsenal contingent on the live chat will be.
I think actually the Chelsea fans would argue that London is blue.
Well, I'm pretty sure. Let's not start an FPL war on the live stream.
There's an FPL rainbow going on.
The West Ham fans are saying, "Well, we won this weekend." Oh, shut up.
It's purple.
The Palace fans are just sort of sitting there, just realised. so let's talk about the red side of North London then. So, North London is indeed very white at the moment, but it's pretty red as well. What is that? 21 games now without being beaten for Arsenal. Now, for they didn't look massively convincing against Huddersfield, but what I will say is they did miss quite a few chances. Aubameyang in the first half. Lacazette, I think, had one ruled out for offside, which was borderline, I think, to be fair. So Arsenal potentially a bit unlucky to have to wait for how long they waited for the goal. But when it came,
what a goal.
Oh my God, was it worth waiting for? Was it worth waiting for? Give me your view and how you felt. How conflicted were you inside that Arsenal were winning the game 1-0, but you're transferring Torreira, who I can't believe has scored an overhead kick. But how did you feel? How did you feel when that goal went in? Surely football first meant I'm gutted that Arsenal are winning. Surely.
So the Torreira thing, because I was a lot of questions about that when I just posted my team.
Yeah, when you said to me, I was just like, Torreira, are you having a laugh?
When I posted my team on Saturday morning, because I obviously wasn't around very much, wasn't feeling very well, I just posted my team and said, right, there it is. And then I got so many pings from my phone because everyone was going, Torreira, where's he come from? What's happened? Why have you got that? So I did another post and explained it, and it was based on the fact that Kenny has annoyed me to the night. Like
he did need to go. There's no doubt.
I have backed that man all season, and then on Wednesday evening he didn't play. He came on at half time, and it annoyed me because if he'd have just stayed on the bench, Doherty would have come on instead. But anyway, so I was annoyed with him, and then he looked like he was going to drop in price again. And I said to Josh, I was like, I cannot have this man cost me 0.3 in team value.
Isn't it? It's tough.
So he's got to go. And we were having a chat. And it was, to be fair to Josh, it was him that put the idea in my head. He was like,
so it's Josh's fault. So my misery this weekend is thanks to Josh. Thanks, Josh.
And I was like, yeah, I did look at him. And it was a couple that I'd been toying with. But then the more I thought about it, the more I thought, well, it makes sense. He's got a goal against Spurs. He got an assist in the game last week.
Yeah.
Maybe, it's going to cost me 0.1 more. And he was going up in price that night. Let's just take a punt on it. And it was a bit of a good punt.
What a result. So Mafio Soul is saying Torreira, and you guys are saying I'm pronouncing it wrong. Guys, if you've not watched FPL Family, you haven't watched FPL Family long enough if you don't realise that I pronounce everything completely wrong. Mafio Sol, Torreira, a red and white Kante. He definitely looks a business. Definitely looks a business. He's small in stature, but he's got that low centre of gravity, and he whips around and he gets in the way of everything, doesn't he? And I think Arsenal got a proper player there, and it's interesting how as Arsenal fans, they must be so frustrated because they've known that for years, right? They've been missing that sort of player for years, and they've tried it with Xhaka and a few others, and they've tried putting Ramsey there, and they've bought Coquelin and a few others. But now they've got a player. Torreira looks proper decent.
And if you look at his influence stats, they're huge. And that's because he's playing with the likes of Aubameyang and Ramsey and Lacazette, who are getting into these positions. So he's feeding the ball. So I mostly got him on the basis that I thought there was assist potential there with these three big guys up top. I just kind of thought, well, if your influence stats are that, there's going to be assists in there.
So maybe a stupid question, but FPL asset now? I mean, you say yes, but for me, I still don't know. He still
What has he got to do? Jump through some hoops?
Yeah,
or...
but he's a centre defensive midfielder. By rights, he shouldn't be up there scoring bicycle kicks. And I wonder whether people bringing him in this game week, and he's gone up in price, I'm pretty sure, last night already. I wonder if it's chasing points. I wonder if it is. If he scores again, the next couple of weeks, it will be a flood of people going onto him.
When he scores again instead of Aubameyang next week.
Oh, don't. I took some solace that Aubameyang got the assist for that, but that is the only solace that I took from that game. Lacazette, Aubameyang both missed really good chances. Interesting from Huddersfield perspective that 1-0. I'm not going to say they're happy with that, of course, but as a few people have said on Twitter, they're no whipping boys right now.
They weren't embarrassed.
Right? They're not embarrassed. They're organised. They work hard. And if you're looking to captain somebody against Huddersfield, I should have looked at the stats far closer for Huddersfield for the last few game weeks because they are looking more solid. They're conceding far fewer chances. And therefore, maybe in hindsight, Aubameyang or an Arsenal striker was not the right option for captaincy. So whoever Huddersfield are playing next, and let's have a look at the fixtures going forward. Newcastle and Southampton next. So I don't think we're looking to get in any of those players anytime soon. But that game week 19, for example, Manchester United away for Huddersfield. Well, maybe let's all pile on to Martial or Lukaku or Rashford, who had a very good game at the weekend. Maybe not. Maybe not, because Huddersfield actually look pretty solid and working pretty hard. So no whipping boys. No whipping boys right now. The only other thing I'd like to point out in that game is that Arsenal had 3 bookings for diving. I'm saying nothing. I'm just putting that there. Do what you want with that piece of information, but I'm just saying 3 bookings for diving in that game for Arsenal.
Maybe we should turn the Emirates into a swimming pool.
Let's move on. Manchester United 4, Fulham 1. So a consolation for pre-season favourite of mine, actually, Kamara at Fulham. I think he was in my game week 1 draft. But goals for Young, Mata and Rashford and Lukaku. Rashford in particular, very, very good game. Played in a position that he wants to play in. Should we be now considering Man United? Have they turned a corner, or is it Anfield next? Don't invest and sort of keep an eye on them. I don't think you buy before Anfield, do you?
No.
Although anything can happen in that game. But if I was to guess Mourinho's tactics for that game, it would be more of a bus than we want to go and attack and do something from that game. For example, Diego Dallo, who I thought had a great game in that. Every time he got forward, ball in the box, dangerous ball in the box. And they said on Match of the Day that if you're a striker, if you're a Lukaku or anybody else in that Man United side, you would just bomb into that 6-yard box every time Dallo got the ball, because every time he got forward, he was whipping in great balls. And at 19, 20, I don't know how old he is, I think he's still a teenager, looks like a good prospect. Looks like a good prospect, guys. So keep an eye on Dallo, but I don't think you want to invest before Liverpool away, right?
The thing is, and I know I say this, and people must be bored of me saying it, but I just don't trust Mourinho.
I know.
Wednesday
and you're right.
night, he just come out and said, if you don't train hard enough, you don't play, and drops them all. And then it's like, right, okay, well, what good is that to me as an FPL manager? I can't be dealing with that. I'm already dealing with Harry Kane getting rested. I can't be dealing with these Man United players as well. No thanks.
Absolutely. But of the guys that scored, Rashford, for me, looked the best bet. Now, apart from Salah in the game week, who got 70 BPS, it's then Mata on 51, Rashford 46 before MacArthur and Son, who we've mentioned before. So Rashford, 3rd best in the game week for BPS. Looked very, very good, I thought, in that Manchester United side. And actually, it's his 3rd start in a row now. So maybe Mourinho is starting to trust him a bit more, given that, Sanchez seems to be... Who knows what's going on with Sanchez? No idea. So
he's injured.
Yeah, so, okay, yeah, I'm not sure if I believe that injury. I think he might be off. But so Sanchez is out of the picture in some way. You've got Martial, who's had a bit of a hammy, so we've got to look for whether he's coming back or not.
Well, I was going to say...
Rashford, while those guys have been out, has done very, very well.
But what are you going to do about Martial?
Well, I'm disappointed again because, I wanted him for that. One of the games I looked at was that Fulham game, and I thought Fulham at home, they'll score plenty, especially if Tim Ream's playing, which he was, so they scored 4 goals.
Your friend.
It was just Tim Ream was just like, here you go, Lukaku.
Just hope him and Steve Cook.
Oh, Tim Ream and Steve Cook. Can you imagine that dynamic duo at the back? Goodness me. So Tim Ream more or less let United have 4 goals. I'm being a little bit facetious there. Rashford played well. And Lukaku actually got off the mark, which is good. To answer your question, I've got to stick with Martial. I've got to stick, I think. I know it's Anfield next, and the lure of Felipe Anderson and a few others is strong. There's no doubt about it. It's strong. But if you look at United's fixtures after Liverpool, it's Cardiff, Huddersfield, Bournemouth and Newcastle. You can't sell him. You just can't sell him when you've got those sorts of fixtures coming up. I just really want to exercise some patience with him. And because of that, I'm therefore not thinking about Felipe Anderson and therefore thinking about other West Ham assets. So let's go to that game next and talk about West Ham. West Ham 3, Crystal Palace 2. Goals for Chicharito. An absolute, by the way, blinder of a goal from Felipe Anderson. Snodgrass's was pretty good too. As a Felipe Anderson owner, you're obviously very, very happy, not thinking about getting rid of him at all.
Ever.
At all. Looks very, very good indeed. But as a guy that's pretty, actually happy with my midfield right now and the way it looks, but not happy with a couple of my front two, I'm actually thinking Ings to Chicharito could be a nice little move for me over the next few weeks. He's obviously a big differential. Not many people have got him. We know what his FPL record is like, and despite being the other side of 30 nowadays, he scores so many goals. Even the goal he got at the weekend.
Is he the other side of 30 now?
I think he is.
Looks about 12 still.
No, I know he looks 12. I might have got that wrong, but I think he is the other side of 30.
Him, life.
He has been around for a bit.
That's true.
But the goal he scored at the weekend, it was that instinctive poaching. I know that this is going to come out to me if I just move in this direction. And again, it was a difficult finish. I know he's only got the keeper to beat, but the keeper's already gone to ground. He had to lift it over the keeper and did very, very well. Great finish. I saw a stat out there. I think I either heard it on TalkSport or I got it somewhere. That actually all of Chicharito's goals, he's scored inside every goal in the Premier League that he scored has been inside the box. Yep. So if West Ham can manufacture that sort of position where they are in and around the penalty area, he's going to be in there. He's absolutely going to be in there.
And the thing is that with the likes of Snodgrass and Anderson and others behind them, putting in the kind of balls that they are, it's the perfect mix for Chicharito, really.
Yes. I do. I'm a bit concerned that he's a trap. I got in my head.
Why? Who's he going to play? Andy Carroll?
I don't know. Just in my head, I feel like it's just a trap. But yeah, I mean, Andy Carroll is there, but I don't think he's a Pellegrini. I don't think he's a Pellegrini sort of player.
He came on, didn't he? And he did nothing because he's not going to fit the system that Pellegrini's playing.
I think Pellegrini, he likes to play football, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He likes to play nice, fluid football. Hence the signing of someone like Felipe Anderson. I want to get a mercurial Brazilian in there, right? I want to get a player in there, and I just don't think that Andy Carroll really fits the system. And even if he played, he'd be injured in half an hour, right? Because he's that sort of player.
Well, he's only going to play half an hour every game because he'll be injured.
Right, exactly. So Chicharito, for me, absolutely on my radar. And Carry 256 is saying, can't believe you've still got Ings, Lee. Can't believe you.
I think you might be the only fantasy manager that has still got Ings.
Well, it's because I've had so many other fires to put out in my team that he's just been rotting away as third sub, losing me value. So now's the time, I think, to get off of him and onto West Ham. And it's either him or Anderson. I actually quite like my midfield, so I don't want to get rid of Martial or indeed Richarlison for Felipe Anderson. So I think it's going to be Chicharito. I do like the look of Chicharito. Liam Rist is saying, get Gabbiadini. That's his weekly Get Gabbiadini comment there from
just
Liam.
Just before Arsenal go
Thanks,
there,
Liam.
Get Gabbiadini.
Absolutely fantastic. Every week he pops up, Liam. Get Gabbiadini. One week, Liam, he's going to score and he's going to be on it, Liam, going, I told you, Gabbiadini. And we're all going to go, no. Absolutely not. Crystal Palace, for their part, seem to be a little bit struggling at the minute. Let's have a look at the fixtures going forward. And again, my mouse has decided to give up, so I'm having to use the trackpad, guys. Bear with me. Crystal Palace. Let's have a look.
Wouldn't be a family stream if something didn't go wrong. It's
got to go wrong, isn't it? Leicester, Man City, Cardiff, Chelsea, Wolves. So it's looking tough. Still, I feel like Palace have had difficult fixtures for ages.
Well, the thing is, they've been unlucky, haven't they, with their injuries and stuff as well. So
yeah. So One Biscuit can play for a bit, but probably going to be third sub again any minute soon. Let's not spend too much more time because we're rapidly running out of time, as ever on FPL Family.
And I overdue a tablet.
You're overdue a tablet, so let's... Oh, this mouse drives me absolutely... Oh, here we go. Oh, it's absolutely crazy. Technical wizardry from FPL Family,
We do need to have
as
a word
usual.
from Matt Doherty, though.
Go on, let's have a... Oh my God, it's so annoying. It's literally the most annoying thing. Right, here we go. Go on then. A word from Matty Doherty and then we'll get to teams. Go on.
He's a legend.
It's just amazing, isn't
That's all there is to say.
Just get him, put him in your team. Don't ever sell him.
And I made the fatal error on Wednesday of thinking they've got Chelsea, they won't keep a clean sheet, I'll bench him. Stupid.
Yeah,
never bench
do that.
Doherty.
As Chris is saying in the live chat, he is a beast. Josh is saying Doherty is a legend. I must admit, the goal, you literally saw it coming. I don't know who it was. It was maybe Jota, who, by the way, had a very good game today for Wolves. Diego Jota, goal and assist. A lot of pre-season promise for Jota, which he's never lived up to, but seems to be coming into a bit of form, and the stats look a bit better. So keep an eye on him. picked up the ball on the left, and you could see Doherty was completely unmarked on the other side, and the defenders just not bothered to get back. It was absolutely unreal. So Doherty is indeed, as Liam is saying, the gift that keeps on giving. You just got to go with it. Absolutely just got to go with him. He's sensational. Bit unlucky for Jimenez owners. Benched, came on, hit the underside of the bar.
Fault.
It's probably my fault for getting him in. I think stick with, right? I mean, he's still pretty good value. I don't think the Wolves fixtures are that difficult, so I would be sticking with Jimenez. Cool. All right, let's have a look at some teams, guys. I've got to apologise now in advance for this ridiculous mouse nonsense that doesn't work. It's so annoying. Right, here we go. Right,
How does it work on this computer?
I don't know. I genuinely don't know. Really annoying.
Is this why you're at work for so many hours? Because you're just there moving.
Moving. Can't actually be productive because the technology doesn't work. Right. So here is the tail of the tape, guys, for my team. It's absolutely terrible. It's 38 points, 3.7 million game week rank.
It's not finished.
Which I think is just about going to scrape me into the FPL Cup, which I think starts this weekend. Overall rank 116k. It's going to be a little bit better once Alonso comes off my bench, which is pretty jammy. Martial's going to come off. Alonso's going to go in. So it's actually going to be...
And Richarlison.
44 with Richarlison to play. So...
You'll be fine.
I don't know, guys.
50.
I don't know. It just doesn't... It doesn't feel like... Maybe it's because I'm sitting here with you all weekend up in the 70s, but it doesn't feel like a very good week at all. And I appreciate some of you guys will be down in the 20s and the 30s, and it's, not great. But that's where I am. And I literally don't want to talk about it anymore, so I'm going to move on. Let's have a look at your team. I'd much rather talk about your team. Top of our private league now, you are.
Still on top of a couple
all
of
the
leagues
leagues with
now.
my mates in it, you are top and showing me up. That's what I absolutely love that. 14k overall rank, which is absolutely unreal, by the way. Game week rank 320k would have been amazing. Would have been amazing. Imagine if Kane keeps his backside on that bloody bench and Salah's points get doubled to 42. You'd have been up in the sort of hundreds somewhere.
Well,
absolutely unreal. So
I'm happy with 77.
I think you absolutely should be. So there's the team. Talk us through it. And try not to be too smug.
Doherty, Alonso, Robertson doing well at the back. Felipe Anderson, I just love that man.
Really good pick, isn't he, at the moment?
Love that man.
Really good pick.
Salah, yeah. You restored my faith in humanity. Fraser,
restored his faith in Salah, I think.
Well,
right?
yeah. Fraser, I can't have something from him every week, and he gave me 12 on Wednesday.
Yeah, he gets a pass against Liverpool, doesn't he?
He's fine.
Gets a pass.
Torreira, well, we've already spoken about. Two up top, bit disappointing, both getting a rest, but as long as they come back on Saturday and do the business, then fine.
Absolutely. Okay.
Sane is what it is.
Yeah. I mean, he's been good recently. I mean, hooked on 52, but I expect that he's going to see plenty of game time over Christmas.
Yeah, I'm happy with them, and a 25k rank rise this game week is quite
very
nice.
Good. Very
obviously, I'm not stupid. I do understand that lots of people have got Everton, so I will watch that through my fingers tomorrow night.
Okay, very, very good. Josh Oram is saying, well done, Sam. Josh telling, well done, Sam. Clapping emojis.
Thank you, Josh.
Eddie Goon is saying, 38 is poor. Thanks, Eddie. I know. Thanks, mate. Steve Sandfield is saying, 101. Steve, did you get 101 points?
Excellent.
Goodness me. Very, very good
club.
Indeed. Very, very good indeed. Robert Uniga is saying, nice pick, Sam, with Torreira. Absolutely, very, very good. Andrew Macedo, congrats, Sam. You got 1 point more than me this game week. So Andrew's had a very good game week as well. Very,
Tell you
very
who
good.
has had a good game week.
Go on.
I don't think he's in, but Anwanet. He's had an absolute flyer.
Well, I'd imagine I know in Anwanet, I'd be amazed if he didn't captain Salah. I'll be amazed.
Absolutely
because
flying.
He is a Salah's biggest fan. I don't know anybody bigger fan than Anwanet, and he's obviously a big Liverpool fan too. Let's have a look at the Streamers and Bloggers League. We're all going to have a look at the Christmas Present League as well in a minute. But
Yeah,
let's
have a look at the
quick
Christmas
look at this.
the Christmas present one, because you'll see me on the top front screen.
Will you?
Yeah.
All right, Streamers and Bloggers is the wrong thing. That's the one with all of the other guys in it. Let's have a look at
the regulars.
live stream regulars. 18th in live stream regulars. Check you out. Ryan Foley still flying the flag. 83,
Come on, are you
Ryan.
logged in as me?
83. No, I'm not. No, I'm logged in as me. I can just see your team from my other leagues, can't I?
Oh.
Ryan Foley, look at that. Ryan is smashing it. He's absolutely smashing it. 83. 11th in the world, Ryan.
11th.
Oh my God. 11th. Seriously. This is like getting into no pressure, but you could win it territory. This is like don't blow it, Ryan. This is your big chance territory, isn't it? Absolutely unreal, Ryan. 11 points.
Because if you win it, Ryan, they'll invite you on the FPL show and everything to talk about it.
Absolutely unreal, Ryan. 11 points. I would love to look at your team, but frankly, this laptop is absolute guff. Let's just try and go down a bit. Oh, here we go. Right. Let's have a look. Robbo, Trent hasn't played, so he's actually got Alonso coming on. He's got another 6 coming on.
Oh,
absolutely
I might be like 10th in the world.
Ryan,
if he's inside the top 10, that'd be
Ryan, you might be up into single figures, Ryan. This is unreal. Richarlison to play.
Ryan.
Oh, my hero, absolute hero, Ryan Foley, superb. 83.
When do I in the UK is? Manchester, maybe.
Man City fan. Don't assume Manchester. Let's go. So 83, very, very good. Richard doing his best to hang on to Ryan's coattails, frankly. I mean, if anybody's keeping up with Ryan, that is very, very good. Richard in an astounding game overall rank of 317, which is absolutely brilliant. 49 for Richard. 49 for Richard, with the Aubameyang captain stinging a little bit, but 49 is still not bad, mate. Not bad.
It's a real spread of scores this game week because of these variety of captains, aren't there?
It is. Well, I think it's the Salahs and the Salah-lesses, isn't it, really? Mark Nunez in at 51, Chris Dydon in at 80. So some very good scores at the top of the streamers, you live stream regulars. Very, very good indeed. You're up there. Yeah, look at this. How long until we get to you? 16th. Look at you. Brilliant. So you're surrounded by Chris Saunders, Karam. You're right next to Karam. 3 points behind Karam. And Shuvik, there we go, and Liam just above you. So look at that, it's getting competitive.
Is that Liam with Gabbiadini fame?
That's Liam of Gabbiadini fame. I'm waiting for the day, one day, in the next few weeks, Gabbiadini's going to pop up in here and just score, and Liam's going to be on it going...
Let's have a look at the presents.
Told you.
We will do wooden spoons and stuff, but we'll obviously look at them tomorrow when the game week finishes.
Let's do all that. Yeah, obviously we will do wooden spoons and all that sort of good stuff. You're right, after the game tomorrow. Let's have a look at the FPL Family Christmas Present League. So... we've got Big Mac with Mo Salah. Love that. Matthew Eziashi, I think I say that. Matt, if I've said that wrong, apologies. Based in England. Brilliant. And it is his team. He's not set up a team just for this league because he's up in 4K. Smashing it with 76. Very, very good game.
And a Liverpool fan, so well happy.
A Liverpool fan. He is living the dream right now. Absolutely loving life. Look at that. Superb. So Matthew currently leading the FPL Family Christmas Present League and in line for that trip to Wembley, courtesy of FPL Family. Let's have a look who's in second. Viali Wright, who is doing very, very well, but not a UK manager. See if we can pick out. I'm pretty sure Aaron is actually. Winterberg FC. I think Aaron is. No, absolutely not. German. All right.
I think Josh is the next one.
Is it Josh next? So Karam is not. I know that. So it is Josh next, I think. Josh, you are on 66, 37k rank overall. Looking pretty good. Same situation as you. Kane and Salah, vice captain. Oh, man. So many of those knocking about.
We took a bit of comfort last night in the fact that Kane was ruining both our lives. Well, Poch was.
Brilliant. So Aaron Dolan is in the live chat. There he is. Hello, Aaron. How are you doing? Third in the FPL Family Christmas Present League. So, unfortunately, Aaron not in the UK. Not eligible for the prize. But if he wins that league, you get absolute kudos and you get plenty of mentions on the stream on December the 23rd, guys, when this league will finish and we will announce who's won the prize. But right now, it's Matthew.
Where am I?
Iziashi, who is leading the way with 209 points. Very, very good. Where are you? Because, I wouldn't mind a trip to Wembley with you, dear. That'd be all right. Let's see if you can win the league.
I would take someone.
Brilliant. Yeah, thanks for that. Yeah, thanks. You're actually 11th. You're actually only 11 points behind Matthew. You're in the game here.
I'm not taking you.
You're in the game. This is my Christmas present sorted out.
No, I've got your brilliant Christmas present.
Okay,
I'm taking Max. If I win it, I'm taking Max.
You can take our little boy, yeah, absolutely. Well, there you go. So you're 11th. So you're in the game. Absolutely in the game. Very good. If I kept scrolling down for a few hundred millennia, I'd be down there somewhere. But we're not going to go there. So Matthew, very, very good. Looking good for the FPL Family Christmas Present League. There's the Twitter. Let's see if we can go and look at the polls on these videos. Now, guys, I still don't get why I can't see the little... it's still not there. I don't get it. So listen, I've got, as a plan B, I've got this, which is going to look really bad on the stream because now you're going to get 2 chats going on. But let's have a look. This is how I can do it. So only one premium 11 million player. And the reason I'm hesitating is because I've got pictures of the people that sent these in. Yes, okay. So if you had to pick one premium 11 million plus player, who would you pick? Kane, Salah, Sterling or Hazard, and that's come from Luke actually. Luke of graphics fame, Luke Walkinshaw. Thank you for sending that in, Luke. Kane, Sterling, Hazard or Salah, who would you have, Sam, if you could only have one?
Oh.
Tough, isn't it? Tough. Go with your heart.
Kane.
Go with your heart. I know you want to say Harry Kane. 20% agree with you, but actually 60% say Sterling. So despite
it's
the
the
Salah
fixtures that made me go Kane.
Well, yeah, but despite the Salah hat-trick at the weekend, people are still going with Sterling. 60% Sterling. Hazard 0, so it's between Kane, Sterling and Salah. Let's talk about... Oh, man, this is... I've really got to find a little eye, because this is really bad, isn't it? Look, come on. Come on, little mouse. Come on, cursor. Oh, my God, it's painful. It's painful. Andy and the other guys don't have this problem, do they? Here we go.
No, but that's because they're professional and we're just...
That's because we just wing it and we actually don't know how the technology works. Best West Ham option.
Felipe Anderson.
Oh, for goodness sake. It's got to go down. Right, anyway. Best West Ham option coming from IBScan22. Thank you, Ibrahim, for sending this in. Which West Ham option? Chicharito, Anderson, Snodgrass or Perez? I can only select two, so I'm going to go with Felipe Anderson. And for some reason it said 100%, so even that's not right. Even that is not right. I can't believe how bad I am at polls. I'm so bad at polls. Unless everybody has gone for Felipe Anderson, which
I think he is
possible.
the best option.
That is possible.
I'm just going to see if I can get it through the kids app instead to make your life easier.
All right, okay. Let's have a look at the last question, which is which Spurs midfielder? We seem to ask this every week, don't we? We seem to ask this every week. But let's see whether Eriksen, Ali, Son or Lucas gets you guys excited. And that's coming in from @DubsFPL. FPL_Dubs. Who's the best Spurs midfielder I have in the Christmas period? Who do you think, Sam? Eriksen, Ali, Son or Lucas?
Ali.
You think Ali?
To be fair, it's Dele. It's not Ali. It's Dele.
Okay,
so
Dele.
Can we get it right?
Whatever. To be honest,
Doesn't go by Ali.
I'm struggling with the technology and the polls and everything. The last thing I can't say Torreira. I can't say anybody else. The last thing I need is you saying you can't say Ali. I can say Ali. It's fine.
His name's Dele.
I don't care. It's Dele Ali. Right. So Son. A lot of you guys are going with Son. So this suggests that the polls are working. It suggests that everyone thinks Felipe Anderson is the best option.
Well, that's because
he
is.
Which he probably is. Son is the Spurs midfielder of choice. 72% for you guys. Ali at 18, Eriksen at 9 and Lucas at 0. So there we go. Son looks to be the pick. So guys, there are the more than flaky FPL polls, FPL family polls for this week. That is it, guys. That is it. A whistle-stop tour of Game Week 16, which was absolute... Well, to be honest, I say it's absolutely woeful. Now I've looked at it, Alonso's coming on, Richarlison's going to play... I feel like it's distinctly average. I don't feel like it's a car crash. I feel like it's very, very average. But a very, very good game week for you. An excellent game week for you. Which has seen you be propelled into the top 14, 15k, which is superb. Absolutely superb. And as I said to Tom from Who Got the Assist earlier on Twitter, he and I are starting to get a bit of deja vu. Because this happened last year when I think Nick was about 20 points behind Tom a few weeks back. Now he's about 30 or 40 in front. I think that's where we are. So for some reason over the last 3 or 4 weeks, what is it about Christmas that makes Tom and I crash and burn? I don't know.
Do you know what it is? It's because I don't go out on what Christmas do.
This is it. You're totally right.
Because I'm a stay-at-home mum.
So I obviously didn't want to say any of this on the live stream, but I've had no time to do FPL at all. Work is so ridiculous.
You were too busy swanning around with your Liverpool legends, not thinking about the game week on Tuesday night.
Well, I wanted to see whether I could put Kenny Dalglish in my FPL team, but it wouldn't happen. And then I wanted to put Dominic Matteo in. Literally, I've had so much going on that you're right, I haven't had a lot of time to look at FPL, but that shouldn't take away from the fact that I should have had time to look at the Huddersfield stats. I should have known they're not the whipping boys. I probably shouldn't have captained Aubameyang, but I look at the rest of my team. Who would I have had? I'm probably going to go someone like Sterling or Sané then, and then they didn't do well, right? So it wouldn't have been very good anyway, is the reality. Wouldn't have been very good. Vinyl Richie is saying, excuses. You're absolutely right, Richard. I will stop, mate. I will stop. You're absolutely right. FPL is unforgiving, he says. Unforgiving.
That is true. Can't
Football Kid is saying, what's your Instagram name? Football Kid, we are at FPL Family on Instagram. If you want to follow us on Twitter, we're at the same handle, at FPL Family on Twitter. That's what I manage. Instagram is what Sam manages. If you want to speak to Sam, get onto Insta, at FPL Family on Instagram.
The Facebook's kind of... I've dropped a clanger with it this week.
The Facebook is work in progress because I've been busy, you've been ill, but Facebook's taken a hit.
It will be better this week.
So both the people that are on our Facebook are really upset.
There's 100 odd people on our
It's
Facebook.
not. It's like 2
Yes,
people.
there is 100 odd people on our Facebook.
Okay, all right, okay, I'll go with it. Guys,
Don't
that is
anger
it.
me, I need to take tablets.
Go and have some tablets. Guys, that is it for this week. Thank you for joining us as ever.
Thursday.
We are not here on Thursday, not here on Thursday, because we are back down in the studios filming FPL show with Jules and James for this week. So you'll see us on Friday when it goes out live on the app, and of course I'll be tweeting the links to that. Sam will be Instagramming the links and the pics from that as well. So look out for us on the FPL show Thursday / Friday of next week, depending on where you are in the world, of course, where you are. Good luck to those of you that have got teams playing in the Champions League. Come on, you Spurs fans. We want a win in the new camp. We want Spurs to do basically what would be the greatest escape since the Shawshank Redemption. I mean, if you get out of that group, it will be absolutely incredible. And of course, we want Liverpool to win by more than 2 goals so we can go through from Napoli as well. So I'm hoping by the time we get down to Uxbridge and we're in the studio, we've got places into the next round of the Champions League. But let's see. We're getting ahead of ourselves. Guys, thank you for joining. If you like the stream, hit that like button before you go, as ever. If you're new around here, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We're over 3.5 now, so it's really great for all of you that are subscribed. Thank you for doing that. Get onto Twitter at FPL Family, onto Instagram at FPL Family, and we will see you in our next live stream next weekend. Cheers, guys.
Take care, everyone. Bye.
And I've just realised the mouse doesn't work, so now I got... There's me trying to get over to the bit that says thanks for joining.
Bye.
Hold on. This is awkward. This is awkward, isn't it?
How many times are we going to say goodbye?
Thanks, guys. Good night. There we go. There we go. Perfect.